Welcome to Sharing Our Cultures. This is the place where you get to meet amazing individuals from around the world who are making significant contributions to the social, cultural, and economic development of Newfoundland and Labrador. Joining me today is Ifeoma Ineh, and she's a certified independent financial advisor. Welcome back to Sharing Our Cultures. Joining me in conversation today is the lovely Ifeoma Ineh, and she's an independent financial advisor. Welcome to Sharing Our Cultures.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me, and I'm happy to be here with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm just wondering, how did you come to be in Newfoundland and Labrador in the first place?
Really, that's a very interesting question because going back 2017, I had gone to United States and we were looking for affordable institution to transfer our kids. The currency, the naira to dollar, wasn't doing so great back home, and we're spending almost a fortune keeping the kids in school. I have 2 generations of children, so in this reference, I'm referring to my older kids. Okay. So we went down to United States, got them. We heard of the fantastic tuition Memorial University was offering. So we took a chance. I had been to Edmonton, to Toronto, but I've never heard about Newfoundland. And as every mom would be, you're wary of where your kids are going to. So I have a habit of looking for the good things and the bad things of a location. So I started Googling and I came up with so many information. One of the interesting things I found out was, Titanic happened in Newfoundland. I said, oh my God, is this where my kids are going to? I have to be there. So that's what actually, gave me the desire to come visit Newfoundland with them. So I came in with them and something interesting happened. Remember I told you I have been to Toronto and to Edmonton. Now this is totally my personal experience. I got to Newfoundland, right from the airport, I was given a different treatment. I felt like home. It was like, the porter even lifted my little girl. We had so much luggage. We got into a cab and it was driven by a lady and she welcomed us to Newfoundland and said, this is the place to call home. I'm like, oh my God, something different is happening. Yeah. Now, I fell in love with Newfoundland. I cannot tell you there was any, I just fell in love. I loved the quiet family. It wasn't so busy like Toronto and other locations. So I felt safe that this is a safe space I could, bring up my kids. I didn't want to go back. And I needed to find a legit way of staying back. So I got into school too, right? And that was how I've been here since 2017. And I'm proud to say that I love it. I love it. Anytime I visit outside Newfoundland, I know there's a difference. This is home. Right. Yeah, you feel welcome. The community is there. And they're supportive. The system supports you. There are people that are friendly, they speak to you, they want to welcome newcomers, they want to find out how to help. So all the way, we've received so much help that I'm sure, I do not know about other provinces, but I respectfully say that Newfoundland is different. And I still think I'm staying.
And it's different in a good way.
In a very good way, in a very positive way.
Okay.
So I got into school and I'm done with my education. And I'm still, my entire family is here. My husband is here, he works with the provincial government. We love it here.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so when you went to school, what did you study? What were you,
okay, now, back home, I have worked in the bank for over 10 years. And I had also worked in a private company, the private sector for 6 years. I wanted a change to my career and to serving the community. So I had a short-term goal and a long-term goal. I draw up plans. If you access my diary, I I have this strategy, that strategy, this plan and that plan. So now coming to Newfoundland, I made a decision to serve the community in a different way. So I decided, why not pursue a career that is going to, make you understand other people in, that is not strictly finance. Everybody expected me to go back to my first love, which was finance. So I decided to go into studying gender studies, women's studies. I needed to understand all the different types of genders and how it's, the narratives. Or else you can actually be assuming things that are not, right. So I got my postgraduate diploma in gender studies, and I proceeded to sociology at the Memorial University, same school. So, and I graduated. I took some courses in political science too. I believed that there would be a place for me in politics someday. It's a long-term plan, yeah. And I'm work in progress.
Okay. So, I'll vote for you.
Yeah, so I believed I should be able to understand, so I just went into humanities to try to understand different aspects of people and society, the community where you come from. So that's been the path I took, yeah.
Okay. And then, of course, it's led you back to finance.
Yeah, okay. Now, I was done with my education in 2021, okay. 2020, precisely, 2020, yeah. And I had this, before then, I worked in the home care to be able to provide services on a part-time basis while I was in school. So I worked in the elderly living. It was a good experience for me. We don't have such back home. Back home, families, are closely knitted. We don't have those structures. So I enjoyed it while it lasted. Okay. And after my education, I joined a group called Equal Voices. And I had attended some of their meetings. So I realized that there's a process I have to go through before I'm even eligible to vote in Canada, even in Newfoundland. So after attending some of their meetings, I started my strategic planning again. Option A, option B. I'm a very realistic person. I'm very practical. Okay. I dream, but I take baby steps towards my dreams. You don't just jump from one section. I look before I leap, right? Right. So I decided to, I knew at that point in time I had to even become a permanent resident. I had to be a citizen before I can even navigate that path. So there's a process flow. Mm-hmm. So it's just part of it. I came in as an international student, so I have to navigate those paths. So that is the part where I am now. I just got my permanent residence. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's check one.
Check one, yes. That exactly. So next step is, pushing my career forward. So I went back to my first love, which was finance. Yeah. So that's why I'm a licensed independent financial advisor right now.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm really amazed that I like this strategic planning of a plan A and a B and the processes that.
Yeah.
There's a lot I can learn from you on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So you're in transition now. You've gone back to your first love, and you mentioned that back home. So can you tell us where back home is and maybe then connect it with what you're currently involved with?
Okay. I'm a Nigerian. Okay. I'm from the Igbo section of Nigeria, married to the Niger Delta, the oil producing, and I lived in Lagos, which is the western part, and I did my youth service in the northern part, so I call myself a full-fledged Nigerian because I've navigated all parts, right? So I worked in the banking sector back home, and Nigeria is beautiful. We are we have so many ethnicity and so many languages, but I can only speak 2, and 3 English, right? The third one is English. So, I mean, we are very interesting and happy people. We're very responsible, we work hard, and we're intelligent. And those are the things, we're loving, we are family oriented. We love community. So that is one thing that also helped me get very comfortable in New Zealand. When I saw I could, I had a community of people that were ready to relate with me, I didn't feel isolated. So it was a plus. So that's it.
Okay, so now you're feeling very comfortable here, part of the community. You're on the route to becoming a Canadian citizen and running for politics. I can see it, coming. And but now you're back to your first love, and you are working. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about. We'll learn a little bit about that, and then we're going to learn a lot more in the second half. So
okay.
Tell us the quick, brief one now, and then we'll go to the other.
Okay, now going back to my first love, which is finance, I did not want to work the 8-to-5 job in financial, the regular financial institutions we know. I needed time freedom. I had been in school, I did 2 programs, and like I said in the beginning, I have 2 generations of children. My little girls I needed more time with them. Back home we have a community. The community helps you even in bringing up, my neighbor's eyes are on my kids, right? But here you have to take full responsibility. And I had taken so much time building up myself, I needed to give back to them and the society. So I had to look for a career that would give me that time freedom. So Great Way Financial provided me with that pathway. I work as an independent financial advisor, but first of all, I had to get licensed. I had to write the exams, and I had to get trained in the company to know how, to present all the plans and policies we have for clients and prospects. And one good thing is that I love people. I love relating and connecting with people. Relationship is a strong thing to me. I value that. So this gave me an opportunity to still create community with people. I did not want to work in the 4 corners of an office and somebody rings up, want an appointment, and I'm timing you like 30 minutes and you're out of here. I wanted to be able to provide financial services with flexibility. So I attend to clients, friends, with the flexibility of their schedules, because everybody's so busy here. Yeah. So I work out their timing to suit my, I infuse my timing to meet their availability. So that's one good thing, and I'm loving it so much.
Good. And I'm thankful that it has given you some time that you can come and spend with us and tell us all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we will take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to look at how, as you know, Sharing Our Cultures, we engage high school youth in various activities, and employability skills is one of what we want them to learn. But so we'll find out from you how they can manage their money, and what are some of the tricks we can share, and learn a little bit more about you.
Thank you.
Such a lovely person. I think we want to know more about you as much as we could.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Sharing Our Cultures will be right back. Welcome back to Sharing Our Cultures, and we're continuing this very interesting conversation with Ifeoma Ineh. So I had to sort of hold you back there for a moment.
Thank you. Yeah.
But as you know, we spend a lot of time with young people, and you have very interesting ways in which you can motivate them to manage money and to think about the value of hard work that you exemplify so well. What would you like to share with us about that?
Okay. Interestingly, I'm a mom of 4 kids, and like I said, I have 2 generations of kids, so that means in my home, I have 2 different conversations with 2 teams. Mm-hmm. So it helps me want to keep in touch with what's going on. So I find out that with the conversation I've been having with younger generations, I see that coming from the culture where we're, like for example, Nigeria, we're a cash society. We're not a credit society. A lot of us people do not have credit cards. You come into a new society, you have to build up credit history. We navigate that very well because at least they start you with a minimum or limits, the banking institution gives to internationals. And what happens then? Some of them do part-time jobs. Some of them are fully funded from home. And they struggle with meeting their bills. What happens after they graduate? A lot of our institutions are doing so good. They bring it out young graduates, even in the high school. They navigate that path. But you see, there's this thing missing within the community. Some parents don't even teach their kids how to manage money. We feel, okay, by the time you grow up, you're going to find your way or your path through this. My younger kids want to get allowances, and I have to teach them how to get money. I mean, if you have to make money, you have to work for it. And there are different conversations I have. I remember having with my younger kids, I had a conversation about volunteering. They're excited to volunteer at the right time, at the right age in the society. But I brought them back home and said to them, volunteering starts from the home. You volunteer to keep the house clean. That is an unpaid job moms do, right? That's also help out because back home we had so much support system. We had, people help us live with us and, and we pay them, to do housekeeping. But when you come here, it's really so expensive. So everybody has to get involved. So I got them to understand that every habit you exhibit out there has to start from home. There is a local saying in Africa that you have to be beautiful from the inside out. So the inside is the family. So they have to learn to volunteer in the family. They have to learn how to serve without being paid, right? I mean, that way they can be selfless when they get to the society. Now, coming back to finances, if there is that vacuum of teaching our kids how to manage money, they're only going to grow up knowing how to meet their bills. They work harder to meet their bills. The kids are going to take mortgages. They're going to buy cars. I mean, we are still buying gas-fueled cars. Our kids are going to probably be driving Tesla, and I'm sure you know what I mean. Yeah. So they have to know how to, they get to adjust themselves to paying bills. Now, in the workforce, you have group benefits. You have companies that encourage you to put money into RRSP, TFSA, and all those plans and, having them in place. But when you come to the immigrant community, we are not so in tune with that. I have to have conversation about, you look at your CRA account. Are you contributing to your company RRSP? And they're just contributing just a meager part of it. And I look at the limit you have in your CRA account. What money do you see there? And somebody said to me, I thought they were going to give me that money at some point. I said, no. It means that is the limit you can save up, right? So there's this knowledge we need to fill in that even if as an engineer, probably you expect your bank to tell you, but the bank doesn't create out so much time like I do and like our corporation does with individuals to explain to them all these dynamics. Why am I paying so much taxes? So why don't you leverage on so many other things that can reduce your tax, liability at the end of each tax year, right? Why do I have to max out my TFSA, right? What plans do I have? Now, when you talk about legacy, conventional families think, okay, I got a property. Actually, you see that the property, acquiring a property is the highest investment they have. And that's totally not right. A lot of us are not thinking about legacies. What legacies are you going to leave the next generation? When you talk about insurance, nobody wants to talk about it. If I have a conversation with the older community, families, friends, and prospects, and you talk about writing a will, no one wants to talk about a will because it's like, are you an agent of death? No. This is real. As far as I know, 100%, human beings have 100% rate of mortality. Everybody's going to die one day, but when it's going to happen, we don't know. And these are conversations you need to navigate. Culturally, if you say that to an immigrant, they feel, I don't want to talk about death. when do you think about it? Is it not when you're alive, you make plans? The plans you make is going to tell someone, if I'm not there, this is what I want done. It's just a guide, right? We have to have these conversations. So the young people are even in a bigger lacuna because, like, they are not even reading books. They are so technologically inclined. They watch movies, they play games. What games are we getting them to play? Are they reading the right books? The audiobook is even available to them. How many of our kids are even leveraging that? The books the schools give them to read are not definitely all those financial, think rich, cash flow, quadrant, rich dad, poor dad, you know? And that's what I get my kids to listen. So I have to begin from home. I had to get the kids I mentor together and ask them questions. Now our conversations are different. I give you 30 minutes of my time. I make sure it's worth it. I'm looking at your budget, how you're spending. Some of them just spend and live paycheck to paycheck. We've got to change the dynamics. If your highest investment is just your property, then you haven't even started. You're going to probably form part of a percentage that is going to be totally dependent on the government. That means our taxes are not going to get easier, right? Because you tax to make sure the middle class or the lower income earners, we leverage their expenditures, right? So we have to train those people. If our next generation have to be smart, financially smart, then we have to start from home. We have to start from communities. We have to start from the high school, having conversations. Now, my little girl, 14-year-old, knows she has to earn her money, her allowances. Her money goes down, she comes to me, oh, Mom, is there something I need to do? I say, yeah, catch up with your homework. I have extra work for them online, academic, and I pay her to study. You might say, why do you pay her to study? Yes, she's already studying in school. She's meeting up with her assignment. But I have to have a way of ensuring I take her off just games and other things that, So I just pay her a little bit. And your allowances. And she comes to me, what can I do at home? Yeah, that's a good thing. Once you're asking, it becomes a much friendly, mutually beneficial relationship, right? So if volunteering starts from home, you get to learn how to serve without being paid. If any money starts from home, then I got to compensate you for something. So if every parent starts that young to integrate kids to managing their cash flow, basic understanding of assets and liabilities is very important, right? If we don't go to the complex definition in the textbooks, we can make it very simple to them and know when they have assets and know when. My little girl knows she has to learn how to manage her allowances, right? She now calculates how much she spends, how much she keeps back, and that's good. It's just common financial literacy. So if we don't give this out to the society, then there's a problem. We're going to have experts in different areas that at the point in time they learn to manage money, or they hand the money to them. Their spending rather goes up, while the other sectors are relaxed. A lot of people don't take risk. I've also noticed in my consulting that women don't take risk. A lot of the guys take risk. They invest in the stock, but the women, no, right? So we gently introduce them to what they can, assets they can buy that would help them not just for now, but 20 years, coming. They have to intentionally plan for the future. So those are the things we try to, talk to them about, discuss their future plans with them. Sometimes I ask an individual, what's your 5-year plan? Remember I told you I have so many plans, plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. If plan A fails, I fall into plan B. And somebody asks me, how are you ready to jump? I say, because the hardest thing to do is to think. You have to use your brain. My little girl knows she has to use her medulla oblongata. And when she says this, she said, oh, Mom, I'm thinking. I'm going to think with my medulla oblongata. I say, yes, thinking is the hardest job to do. You have to sit down and think it through. So by the time you think it through, it gives you so many options. How many kids are leveraging on the power of their brain? We give them instructions. We teach them in the school, which is good. at their private time, 24 hours in a day for a kid, how useful have they made it? They navigate the school, that's quite good. We give out our kids to the help, support of the school system. They take them off. I'm so thankful for schools, because what would it be if there were no schools, So think about it. Our kids come back home. They take them for recreational activity, whichever one they need to do at that point in time. What else? If you look at that kid's life, you see that they're in their rooms with their computer gadgets. They're either playing games or they're doing one thing or another online. And we have to find a way to bring them back to reality. We have to create a balance. So I do this every time. There are times we have no electronics day, right? And you do things that you play with me, like do normal things like we used to do back then. We didn't have this much technology. But the good thing is that we need to keep letting parents know about the need to have conversations about finance from the comfort of their homes. If parents are not able to do that, then people like me, independent financial advisors, can always sit in and help out. And that's where I come in with the young community, the young kids. We talk about it, and they ask their questions. A lot of them have unanswered questions. Maybe they don't have those relationships with the family to bring it to bear, but we have to fill that vacuum.
It's a lot of information. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciated your coming with us and sharing so much knowledge.
Thank you.
And all what you do and your plans. We really appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Sharing Our Cultures will be right back. Thanks to Ifeoma Ineh and to you for watching. Join us again next time for remarkable stories from amazing individuals who are making a difference in our community.